Lorraine Newman.
Conehead stories, go.
Conehead stories, go.
Okay. All right.
This one's called Conehead stories. Take it away.
Okay, well, one time we wanted to kill off the Coneheads and send them back to Remulac, so we did some actual outside filming where Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, and I were in a convertible, of course. And we were just driving around, I think, New Jersey or something. And the thing that they attached the cone with was something that's not used anymore called spirit gum. And we'd only been in it for like 5 minutes when we did a sketch, but this was like several hours and it started to burn like fuck, you know? And I don't know, I think I'm not speaking out of school when I say that Danny and Jane smoked weed to deal with the pain.
They can take the hit. Their careers can take it.
Yeah.
I think TMZ is here tonight. That's probably whose phone rang.
Oh, dear God. Well,
but
you know.
Jane can take it.
Yeah, I mean, Jane is still waters run
I heard
deep.
he
She's
called
so
her an
great.
ignorant slut once.
He did. But, I mean, when the Stones...
TMZ, out to the street.
When the Rolling Stones hosted our show, Jane Curtin's dressing room was next to mine, and I remember opening the door, and Jane was in a bathrobe and curlers smoking, and Mick Jagger was there. Just the two of them. It's like, he should be in my dressing room. Why is he... She's
you know what
cool.
hasn't sunk in for
She's
me
very
is that it's
cool.
just legal now. Isn't it just legal? It's sort of like in this whole fracas. Like, I mean, I had
A
a medical
weed, yeah.
card, and I would go talk to the guy with the ponytail and the stethoscope, and like pretend I had sleep apnea.
You know, it's not legal in New York.
It
Because my older child was complaining. She wanted some edibles. She was freaking out because she had bed bugs. And she was sure that she was finding them all over the house. It was kind of like coke bugs.
Right.
But she said, God, I could use some edibles. I said, go out and get some. She said, it's illegal in New York. And I had no idea.
Huh. Because you're like, it always seemed legal when I was your age.
Exactly. Exactly. What's the problem?
I think we got a little sidetracked from the Conehead story.
Did you ever keep shit? Is the cone hollow? Is
It
the
is-
on the cone head?
Well, it's not hollow, but it is firm and
I've officially become Regis Philbin, by the way.
I don't remember.
What do you put in there?
Is the cone hollow? Do you put things in there? Scotch tape? I put an omelet. Ah!
Was there another act to the spirit gum story when you were all burning to death?
That was it. You know, we did need to pump gas at one point, which was fun.
Do you remember back when the Conehead movie was coming out, and we at Comedy Sports had to wear Coneheads, and we played the game Dr. Conehead because
that's right.
The Comedy Sports was hoping we would get on a local commercial.
Oh my God!
Do you remember that?
That was so sad.
Tell that story.
Tell.
Like Paramount did the Coneheads movie, and the part of the promotion was that they sent Coneheads. I mean, I'm kind of just repeating what you said, but we worked in Comedy
Well, you know,
Sports.
like back in the they do
but it
that,
was like
the commercials where they would go, "We loved it," or
and
"That was
everyone's
great."
wearing a
Yeah.
cone head or something, and so our comedy club took it. They were like, "Oh, that means that we could get some promotion." Like, no, they're not. That's so sad that
But
we perverted our show to like instead of we used to play Dr. Know-It-All, you know, that theater sports game, or Mr. Know-It-All, where you do 3 people and then you answer one word at a time. Yeah. Let's do a round. Hey, somebody ask a question. I heard, why is the sky blue? You fucking slowpokes. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what the fucking question is. The
Sky
is
blue.
Okay.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Sorry.
Go ahead. No. Why,
All right, well, you get the idea.
Why would you go from here to here? It's my fault. You go.
I was thinking of you as the referee.
All right. Okay.
He's going to get the suggestions from the audience.
Anyways, so our little improv troupe, like they
Died-a-rat's death.
changed the name for that 6-month period to Dr. Conehead, so we all had to wear Coneheads because the idea was that that we could send the tapes that they religiously taped every show from the back of the sound
we
booth.
hated
You know how
it.
good those tapes looked.
We
The
hated
it.
VHS tape
Done.
in a black box theater.
Yeah.
Where was this done?
Milwaukee.
Oh.
And we hated it, and
thought it was
so we
LA.
would go out of our way to screw it up so the footage would be unusable.
Yeah.
Diabolical.
I can't remember what we did. What did you wear the comb
I
wrong?
don't know.
Or?
I think it was just like just doing terrible. I mean, like soon after that, you and I were not allowed on stage together.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob and I were forbidden to be on stage together. It's kind of a fun part of our friendship. I guess like we were too powerful comedically. That's how we chose to look at it.
Somebody might burst into flames.
Yeah, comedy fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any like stuff when you were doing like just improv like on what stuff were you doing before SNL? Like what kind of crazy stuff? do you remember?
I was part of this improv workshop, and from that workshop we formed the Groundlings. Yeah.
You were a foundling.
I'm a foundling.
Who's in your troupe?
Okay, here's the original people, and nobody here is going to know who these people are. Tim Matheson,
Yes.
Pat Morita,
Yeah.
Jack Sue,
Don't know that.
and Valerie Curtin, who was married to Barry Levinson and his writing partner at the time. And she's also Jane's cousin, because, everything's connected. And I guess, I don't think you'd know the other people, but a lot of them turned out to be showrunners in the 80s and 90s. Yeah.
And Lawrence kind of came and saw you and scooped you up, or what happened?
Yeah, he saw me. I was doing characters, and he came with Lily Tomlin. He was producing her special. They hired me for that. And then later, Lorne came back and saw me doing new characters and new material and hired me for SNL.
What characters were you doing?
And let's see one of them.
Was there anything that we might recognize, or was it all new stuff?
I was doing the Valley Girl, the
Okay.
Sherry the stewardess. The Swedish cookie lady who did one appearance on SNL. An angry Jewish poetess named Sarah Lynn who had one appearance on SNL. Alice, who, her mundane existence she thought was really weird. One appearance on SNL.
And then Emily Conehead.
Yes.
37.
Yeah.
All right.
I got 1 million of them.
That's amazing. How was Lily Tomlin?
She was great. This was in the 70s, and, tapings can go on forever. We went till 3 in the morning, and she was out there doing stand-up to keep the audience going. I really admired that so much.
Well, now I'm confused about that. You're talking about SNL? So
No, this was a Lily Tomlin special.
Oh, you did. Okay, you were
Yeah.
Lauren came and scouted you from the Groundlings to do the Lily Tomlin.
They
special.
actually were
Okay.
looking for men, but they hired me.
That is a double achievement, as all you ladies know.
Who are the original Groundlings that we might know?
Archie Hahn?
Yeah,
You know Archie
I know the
Hahn?
name, but not know.
Oh, gosh. I don't think you'd know any of them, except for the people I mentioned.
My
but
very,
that's
my very
before.
first play, I was 4 years old. I was at the Groundlings Theater.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and Paul Rubens was doing a show, and one of his characters was Pee-wee.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And we weren't allowed to see it because apparently it was not for kids.
It wasn't. I met Paul Rubens at Cal Arts. I was there for three months. And he was an architecture student. His hair was this long, ringlets. And we did an improv show there. And then I left to join this improv group that became the Groundlings. And then when I got SNL, Paul asked me if he should go to the Groundlings. And I said, yes.
Do you still actively do improv?
Every once in a while, the alumni shows at the Groundlings, but I also do improv classes taught by this guy, Bill Steinkellner, who was a showrunner for Cheers and lots of other sitcoms.
You're taking them as a student?
As I said, it's just for fun. It's all Groundlings alumni. It's like,
That is like the most fun. Actually, the most fun I can recall is when we were doing like workshops at Comedy Sports, because it was like you just do these crazy scenes. If you had a cool teacher, You would just do these like you're in the middle of you're in a back room of a bar at 3 p.m. and you're drinking beer and like a scene might go for 90 minutes and just becomes and it's like and it's the best audience in the world, which is a bunch of other like drunk people that are like this is amazing that we do this. And
we're all very, very old, and so it's like, well, George couldn't make it; he had knee replacement. But. Yeah,
that feeling, especially like when there's nothing to lose anymore, when it's not like, oh, I hope I get into the AAA.
Yeah, but the games that Bill has created are so sophisticated and wonderful and so fun, and nothing like the Viola Spolin games. He's just like grown it to I hate using that word, exponential. But
do you find yourself going through when you do improv and you enter a scene? Do you black out? Do you like because Rob and I have talked about this, like as bad as we are at improv, like we're not like guys that you would compare to like the good long form people that we see who are like such great listeners and maybe like disciplined and all this stuff, but I don't. It's like there is this thing like where you kind of
do I black out? Yeah, absolutely. I'm a shitty improviser. I was never good. I always did character monologues at the Groundlings. I was never a good improviser.
Do you think it's because you're a bad listener or bad multitasker?
I'm slow.
Yeah.
Very slow.
You need to process, and like everybody else is like all over.
I'm slow processor.
I watch the ASCAT things. Like sometimes they have me, and I'm like watching these guys, and I'm like,
God.
How on earth did they split the difference between this much crowd pleasing and this much actual discipline? I don't even know. Because also they're like denying and all this shit like that I learned as rules. It's like, the only way through a scene is if you apply all these fucking rules, and then maybe something good will come out of it. But the like UCB is like they teach just like this like crazy like, no, this is how you do a sketch in 3 minutes, which I guess is how they kind of rose.
That's nice for them. The Groundlings do. I mean, they do really hard shows. They have a show called The Crazy Uncle Joe Show. And it's all, suggestions from the audience. And what they do is they do like short little scenes, and they go back and forth in time, so they have to remember what they established and the characters they established in each scene. That's hard. That is really hard.
I find watching improv, as I do a lot of improv, it's mostly short stuff, like like gamey stuff. Watching other people do improv scares the shit out of me.
Me too.
Doing improv doesn't scare me at all. But like being in the audience, I'm sweating, I'm nervous.
Yeah, my stomach hurts. Absolutely, watching other people.
You project yourself up on stage. You're like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have done that. I'd be fucked up there. Like I wouldn't be able to make it. But when you're up on stage, you're not like you go into that blackout. You roll your eyes back and just bite like a shark.
My big limitation is like I was always like a bad listener. Like I
bite like a shark, you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you should be biting.
This is real improv talk, you guys.
Like I was just like wait off stage and I'd see a scene and then I'd go like, okay, I think I'll be the plumber. They're clearly they need a plumber here. And then I got this great idea, and I come in and I just sort of like I don't fucking like. I watch other people doing it better, like where they're like even though they're talking, they're still listening, and they're like able to. But I think Schraub and I are in the same category. It's like you come in as a plumber. You already decided that you're a plumber and that the reason you're a plumber is because Voltron's parked outside. And if somebody's like, hold on, I need Ben Franklin, and you're like, Ben Franklin doesn't exist. There's a Voltron outside. You're just like, you're like, fuck everybody. Like, I have an idea. If you just give it a chance, you'd learn. And that's maybe, I don't know if that's like a writer's mind or it's just, well, why don't I call it what it is? Bad improv.
Well, it's like in relationships where you want that person to feel heard and understood. But you're really just waiting for them to stop talking so you can go ahead and say the thing you already made up your mind you're going to say.
Yeah, which applies to life.
And that's a problem in improv. That is a problem.
And
but
in
it could
real
be
life,
the writer.
too.
Yes.
Like,
well, that's.
Yeah.
I find the secret is to come out on stage and as soon as possible make a butt or a titty or a dick joke.
Why are you leaving out farts?
You're blowing my mind, Lorraine. That's that Groundling shit.